Welcome in Munich with the QNAP TS-220 network attached storage. So it's a NAS drive, and you can see here we have a dual slot in the front, so you can have up to two drives inside. Right now the 3 and the 4 terabyte drives are not that expensive. For example, 3 terabyte one is available for about 110 US dollars, but of course this box costs also a little bit money, around 200 bucks, but it's worth it because QNAP is one of the leading NAS companies. They have really years and years of especially software experience, which is important in this business nowadays, because you can do so many things with the network attached storage. Not only use it as a DNA server, as you can see it right away here on the front on the logo, but you can also stream movies to your smartphone, to your tablet, anywhere in the world. For example, in Android and iOS there is a free app here by QNAP. Then there's also the possibility to backup, like for example you can use this as an Apple time machine, or of course for Windows the same thing, backing up, and even for the iOS and Android devices you can back up anything that's on there. It's an FTP server. You can also use it as a print server, radio server, syslog server, LDAP server. I'm just reading here the box on the side because there's all kinds of servers that you can use. It, of course, or VPN is also possible. MySQL, if you are using a web server, of course that's important, since it of course has FTP and PHP. And otherwise there is also the possibility to just use this regular file server, and a Dropbox, a killer you could say, for yourself at home and nobody else is looking at your files. And there's also, as I said, all kinds of apps available by QNAP. For example, I think HyperGet or HappyGet is the name for the Chrome OS plugin, where you can just, for example, if you're watching YouTube videos, just tell your NAS to download them onto your NAS, so you can watch it on other devices too, even when you are offline and just internally in your network. But it says most of these things here on the back of the box, again here with some little app icons, and that you can use it for all kinds of things like photo station, music station, video station, download station. And the MyQNAP Cloud is the app that you have to look for in the Play and Google iOS store. And it's really easy to use, as you will be able to see, not in our first setup, but when we will review it soon. This is of course right now only an unboxing. So as I said, the QNAP TS-220 costs about 200 bucks, so it's like the name. There's also other models, but this has a 1.6 GHz processor, 512 megabyte RAM, and a 2-slot drive in the front, a gigabit LAN, and all kinds of ports in the back, as we'll see when I show you this nice little fella, which is in white right here in my hand. And we have also a little box with some extras that you will need for the first time setup. So let's just look at the brown little tiny box, where the first thing that you will see is here a little short manual, which is really easy. Couldn't be easier. Take your hard drive, put it inside the NAS, then connect the whole thing to power and to network, and then just go to start.qnap.com. So this is how easy it is. It says it again here on the front. Just go to start.qnap.com, and also if you're looking for help, you can go to the Facebook site, Twitter site, YouTube site, and of course also Google Plus now. So let's just put this to the side and see what else we have inside the box. For example, to put inside your hard drive securely, you need screws, which are right here on top. Then we have also a PSU, which gives out 5 amps at 12 volts. So it's a big chunky device, but the cable is at least long enough. And then we have another cable inside, which you need for the PSU. This is the PSU power extension cable, you know, from computers. Again, not that small, but which is of course also handy, a network cable, so you have the fast gigabit connection to your switch or to the router that you have to plug in the NAS into, because I don't think it has actually Wi-Fi. But of course Wi-Fi is not the fastest way to stream your full HD movies, pictures, music and everything to multiple devices at the same time. So that's why it's mandatory, or should be mandatory, to use it with a router at home. So we have here the NAS itself. It looks quite nice. It's a white matte plastic, fingerprint resistant, you could say, On the top we have a little bit of a glossy part to have a little bit of an interesting design aspect. It says here also how to put in your first hard drive, because you don't have to use it with 2 hard drives. You can only just buy, if you just want one, just buy one, and then in a few years, if that's full, you can buy another one. But of course RAID is also possible with the NAS, so you can multiply the speed or the backup capabilities and so on. And so the first one would be this one. This is the first bay that you have to take out to put in a hard drive. It's quite easy to, you just have to pull it and slide it out, and here we go. It's a small little plastic bay. I also have a hard drive here which we will put in later, but first you can see here that we have the power button. This is, I think, the reboot button, but I'm not sure, but it looks kind of like that. And we have a USB port which doesn't look like 3.0 since it's not blue. But on the back you can see here that we have actually a USB 3.0 port, and even 2 of those, so you can really use this as a print server. There's enough USB. That's the network port, Kensington, power, and of course even eSATA. So if you want to connect really fast external hard drives also to the box, it's all up to 4 hard drives that would be possible to use with SATA, since these are of course also SATA drives. It's really not that loud. Of course you will always hear a NAS, or I haven't seen or heard a NAS yet that is really you could put in your bedroom, for example, because it's that quiet. But it's a really quite cool device, since even with 3 terabyte WD drives, it has only about 32 or 33 degrees, which is of course a quite nice number. So if you have a hard drive, you don't even need to have a 3.5-inch hard drive like this one. You can also use a 2.5-inch one server drive, which are quite expensive but use a lot less power. But what's also cool is, of course, SSDs also have a 2.5-inch size. So you can see here, this would be the place where you have to put your screws. It says actually right here, I'm sorry, on this side, on the bottom also 2.5-inch drives. This would be the screws where you have to put them. But if you have a Samsung drive, for example, I have that, just have to have the ports on the back, not on the front of course, so it can connect to the SATA connectors in the back. And then when you have aligned the holes here on the bottom, you just screw in all the 4 holes that you would want, which I'm not going to do right now because it would take too long. I will just slide it in like this. I'm not recommending that. You shouldn't actually do this, because it can slide out by itself or just move around the hard drive, and that's not how QNAP of course designed this box. I'm just showing you off that you can just easily put it inside, then it's inside, and then you can take out here the second slot and put in another one, plug into the power and go to start.qnap.com. So it's really quite easy setup, and we will check it out soon compared to also a Western Digital and I have a Synology here, how really easy QNAP is to use and if it's really that great drive. So thank you much for watching. My name is Balazs. This was just a really short hands-on and unboxing here of the QNAP TS-220 network attached storage. Thank you much for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe.